A very good evening to you and welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I hope you are away. Join us for the Premier League Roundup show. Back for another week. It seems like a long time since we've done this, but we're back for the run-in and the normal gang are with me. Josh, how are you, mate?
Not too bad, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, all right. Not too bad. Sean, how are you, mate?
Really good, chap. Summer's there, look. Summer's there at the window.
The sun's coming out. There we go.
Yeah,
Good
we're nearly
stuff.
there for summer.
We certainly are. Hello to everybody watching live. Busy evening on the channel tonight. We're going to do this roundup show till about 7:30. Then Sean's going to go and grab a drink and a biscuit, and we're going to talk West Ham Spurs, of course, tomorrow night. The big game in that sense. But we're going to have to start with West Ham. Unfortunately, seems like a million miles ago. But Newcastle 4, West Ham 3. I don't really want to talk about this again, to be honest, but I'm going to have to. Look. It happens, unfortunately. It happens, and look, 3-1 up, cruising at that sense. Moyes takes Antonio off of Phillips. I can't understand it whatsoever. He did it against Villa. It backfired. He did it against Newcastle, and it completely backfired. I don't understand it. We were comfortable. Another goal. The game is done. But he takes striker off for a defensive midfielder that is not informed. That is not at all with it, if we're being totally honest, and we end up losing the game. And as soon as that penalty instant happened and they scored that, I said they'd win, and they did. It was blatantly obvious what was going to happen there. Look, that would have given us a really nice gap between the sides just chasing us, who have now got games in hand and just a couple of points behind us. It would have been a huge 3 points, and we didn't get them, and we've got ourselves to blame in that sense, that we didn't wrap things up in the game, and it will go down as 3 points lost 100% in the grand scheme of things. We were without Alvarez, which we're going to be tomorrow night as well, which is a huge miss. We managed to cope relatively well. Newcastle didn't press us too much in those midfield areas, but in the end, it's just a frustrating day at the office. Josh, did you watch it?
Watched what I could because I was in Birmingham. I was at the game this weekend, so we were out and about. But I saw what I could. It's just sound like a bit of a capitulation from the second half. I saw the score with about 50 minutes to go and said 3-1, and then it went to 3-2, and then 5 minutes later we got back in the car and it's 4-3. So it's mental really. Harvey Barnes coming off the bench and getting 2 goals. Maybe he could be one trying to go for the late England call up. But it's not happened for Phillips in the West Ham shirt. He just seems miles off the pace to me. Every time he seems to come on, he just seems to wreck everything. He's come and played a few times now for West Ham, and I don't even think they've won with him on the pitch. It's just he looks miles off at the moment, and it's mental how his career's just spiraled so far down because he used to be such a good player. As for the penalty control, obviously I've seen some of it. I think the first Newcastle penalty, it looked a foul on Gordon, although I know there was questions of offside as well. But I don't know how it works. If he's offside, can you still give the penalty? I don't know what the rule is. But and to be honest, the second half, I didn't watch any of the second half, to be honest with you. That's all I can say about that one.
Look, just to pick up on the Phillips thing, look, he's been woeful, and I do feel for him in a sense, but unless we're bitterly forced into it, I don't want to see him play another minute for West Ham, if I'm totally honest. He's been crap. He's not done one beneficial thing for West Ham. He's come on, he's got sent off, he's given away goals galore, and I mean, look, I do feel for the lad, and look, he didn't help himself with the incident that happened after the game, getting back onto the bus. But look, it's just been a complete fail, and I think it's best if we draw a line under it, because look, I don't know what's going to happen this summer, but we definitely ain't going to sign him. But look, we'll talk more about West Ham a little bit later on. I do want to motor on. Next up, let's go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs 2, Luton 1. I was reeling after that, and then I saw Luton scored, which boosted my mood a little bit, and then it was inevitable in the end, I thought, Sean. Luton scored a very West Ham goal, which boosted my mood slightly, made it a little bit more difficult than it probably should have been, Sean.
You said they scored a West Ham goal. I'll mention this again later if you like. Luton scored. Remember the other week I said we're conceding the same type of goal?
Yeah.
It's not a West Ham goal. Teams are scoring against us like that regularly. It's a tactic. It's a weakness we've got when we lose the ball in possession, and 3 or 4 teams have exploited it now, and I'm in no doubt at all West Ham will try and do the same tomorrow night. I think if you can find the highlights, if you're bored of the Wolves game, the Fulham game, one of their goals at least was exactly the same goal. It was a bit of a carbon copy of one or two games this season. Came out a bit flat. We come out a bit flat, not playing very well, should score. Still flat, should score. Bit like I think we were 3-0 down against Fulham at halftime last week, wasn't it? Or the week before. But in that game, we probably should have been 2-0 up before they scored. So I think Werner put one wide, he should have scored. Son hit both posts, one cleared off the line. They got the other end of the score. So familiar patterns, a bit sluggish, a bit not clicking, almost like we revved up, and then we concede. So it's a strange one. In some games soon, we're gonna not be at our best and go 3-0 up, because that's a possibility. It could have happened. Second half, we come out, couple of changes, we liven up. Again, we probably should have scored a couple more. Do you know what I mean? We're well-deserved winners, but I think I've said this a few times, and we don't seem to be getting to the end of it. We're probably in the league the most team, which is still work in progress. Like around us, you've got Villa and Man U. They've had their manager a little bit longer, both of them. They look more, you know what they're about a little bit more. You can roughly, Josh can probably tell you roughly his best 11, the best formation he prefer. I haven't got a clue of ours, and I don't think Ange has yet. He knows he's quite stubborn, like a lot of managers of the style and the formation he wants to play. But when he does that, I think you want to get your best players on the pitch, but some of them don't suit the system. So you might have a few square pegs and round holes. So yeah, it's weird. Like, I'm looking at it every week. If you have a bad performance, you've got to drop in, bring so and so in. Like, I'm a big Kulusevski fan. He doesn't really suit being wide right in the system. Bring Brennan Johnson on. He looked the world beater when he come on. He's looked the world beater when he's come on a lot of games. Then we start him. He's quiet for half an hour. So we're not finding our best team. I'll be surprised if there's not more changes tomorrow night. I think he might make at least three changes from the start for the team that played Luton. We've got a lot of money to spend in the summer apparently, and there's a few areas we're going to strengthen. But yeah, when I watch us play, like I said, repeating myself, we look sluggish but still creating chances, but not properly clicking. And I just don't know what team I play tomorrow night.
We'll see. I think it's interesting. Look, I think it's interesting in the sense of he's not really moulded his best team or his most fluent team there when we are heading into April. That's interesting. We'll pick more up on that in the next show. But Josh, you've got a hell of a game here. Sheffield United 3, Fulham 3, something that was just a bit bizarre. I mean, it went 4-1 at one point because Sheffield United scored a fourth and it was disallowed for VAR. All of a sudden, 10 minutes later, it was 3-3. Absolutely mental. You know, I know you wouldn't have seen much of it, but I was rather amazed as the scoreline kept popping up. Sheffield United, that's just a weird side. And Fulham, I mean, went and beat Spurs comfortably 3-0 the other week and made really hard work of getting a point away at Sheffield United. Two quite strange sides, Josh.
Yeah, Sheffield United, it's like they either seem to get battered or they surprisingly give someone a decent game. Like, there's been a few times this isn't finished straight after we beat them 5-0. They went and beat Luton away when Luton in a good run of form. And the other week after the Arsenal drubbing, they got a draw at Bournemouth. And then Fulham, they're just... honestly, they strangest side in the league. They come off the back of beating Spurs, and they had, I think, a good run before that, and then they found themselves 3-1 down to Sheffield United at one point. It was a bit mad because I put the score and see 4-1 Sheffield United, and then next thing you know, I see 3-3. So I wouldn't know what had gone on, but obviously the 4-1 is disallowed. I didn't watch the game, but I see Brereton Diaz got 2 goals and an assist, which is good for him. But yeah, I think it's over for Sheffield United now. Fulham, they've not got much to play for. They haven't really all season. Well, they have done us a few favours this season by beating United and Spurs recently. And that's about as much as I can say for them. They've not much to play for. They've always been safe all season. I think they're about 8 or 9 points off Europe. I might be wrong, might be a few less than that. But yeah, if Sheffield United they win, I think they've got a game in hand, and if they'd have won the game in hand, they'd be 4 points off. So yeah, it's sort of summed up their season really. go 4-1 up with what was it, 15 minutes to go, and then end up drawing 3-3. So yeah, it's not ideal for them. I don't know what's going to happen at the end of the season. Will Wilder stay on? I think he should do. He'll probably come straight back up again, but it's one of them. Unless they get a new owner, it's just pointless really, because they never seem to go for it when they come up. They never really spend too much. Even when they did stay up that one year, they just didn't spend much. Yeah,
a bizarre team. Yeah, look, I think with Sheffield United, they're all but done. Will Wilder stay? I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. Evening, Jake on in the building here. Mike Uncle Dilliard. Hope you are well, mate. Evening all, says Michael. Watching a real holding midfield at the moment. Down to the infuriation from West Ham fans. And we let him go on loan and bought in Phillips. Cost £8 million to get Phillips in on loan for the rest of the season. When we have Downs, who has been, listen, Downs wasn't a world beater when he was there, but he's been better than what Phillips has been. There's no doubt about that. I thought it was chocolate that made you sick at Easter. You don't need chocolate. It's just a David Moyes. Areola up for 2 or 3 weeks with a thigh strain is not positive in the immediate future. Not good at all. Josh's granddad is here. Hope you're well. Not good news for Everton, I am afraid. There we go. There we go. Right, we have got 8 games to get through, and we've got 20 minutes to do it. So let's get cracking. Chelsea 2, Burnley 2. I'm sure you would like to speak about your neighbours, Chelsea, and their capitulation once again. Sean, so over to you.
Well, Poch came out in midweek and said we should be miles better than 11th, didn't he? Or something daft like that. The latest howler of a comment. And if I'm right in saying, didn't Burnley go down with 10 men on 40 minutes?
On 40 minutes, yeah.
I think that just proves where Chelsea are. They'll be a bit like you tomorrow night when they play us, because they seem to raise their game when we come to town. But Chelsea have just dropped too many points against very, very average sides. And I think they are. I know they moan about injury. If you look at Chelsea's injury list, you won't pick many off of that injury list. Where you think, oh, they're brilliant. They're brilliant. Yeah. There's not many on there. I just think where they are is where they deserve to be. And I've covered this a few times. Remember they were tipped to finish above Tottenham in the league, and I just couldn't have it at all. And I think they're not far off where I expected them to be. I thought they're miles away from getting back to challenging for top 4. I think they're 5th favourites to top 4 with the bookies. And I do look at them and I thought I could not believe it in any way, shape or form. I'd have had Villa above them, Tottenham above them, West Ham above them, all at the start. Even if they have them players fit, I just don't think they're going to click for a long, long time. Fair play to Burnley, it's a point. They're ticking over, just about keeping it interesting down the bottom, obviously, with Forest only getting a point as well and Luton losing. So they're not dead and buried down there at the bottom. So if they and Everton obviously might get another points deduction, we don't know. But it's all about Chelsea. They're Chelsea at home. I don't know if they're being booed off or not. Gotta be honest, I don't even watch their highlights, but it's a terrible performance, especially playing against 10 men for 55 minutes, probably 65 minutes added injury time.
Massively. I think it's a damning indictment to what has just been pathetic from Chelsea this season. And look, I tipped them to finish 7th this season, and they're not even going to get anywhere near that. Maybe I was a little bit too optimistic with that assertion. Look, they've just been poor. Nothing's clicked at all. And in terms of Burnley, pick up the odd point. I don't think it's going to keep them up, but they keep going down there. Let's move to the South Coast next. Bournemouth 2, Everton 1. Some drama in this game as well. Bournemouth, I think we're leading, and then Everton pulled it back, and then from all accounts, a bit of a disaster class own goal at the end to gift the 2 extra points for Bournemouth. Josh.
Yeah, just the way on Chelsea very quickly. Pochettino said they should be top 4, which is just unbelievable, really, the way they deserve to be. And that's just a pathetic thing to say. But the Everton game, it's just it's the same old really for them. I know there's been news coming out last few days that I think it was last season they recorded a £90 million loss. So that basically to me confirms the 2nd point deduction, because that's what they're being looked at for. I think it was a 3-year period from 20/21 to now basically. So if they got £90 million loss just that year alone, and that probably should seal the chart and the punishment for them. So it's looking bleak for them, to be honest. If I thought they turned a corner around Christmas when they won them 4 games in a row, but that was the last time they've won. I think it's 3.5 months since they won. 16th of December was the last win, and it's just they don't show any signs of that changing whatsoever. And at least a few weeks ago, they were getting unlucky in games like West Ham, but that was a robbery when for them. It's been a few times this season, but now it's just like they're getting battered. Like the performances aren't great. Whereas at least you're seeing something like earlier in the season. Now it's just looking more and more bleak for them. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who hasn't scored since like September, he still gets picked over Beto, who seems to score every time he comes on. But Calvert-Lewin still gets picked over him. The wingers, the problem with them for me, they've just got, there's no real pace in the team whatsoever. No pace or flair. You look at that team and you think there's just not one little bit of pace in there. There's Dan Juma, who's just, I don't know what's happened to him, because he's been injured since about January, and Dyche is just, he's not refusing to give any updates, so I don't know what's gone there. But how, even when he was fit, how he didn't get in that team, I really don't know. It's clear that Dyche has favourites. Dwight McNeil, he's been poor all season, but continues to get picked. And again, when I talk about the pace, he's not quick for a winger, and Jack Allison is not exactly rapid either. It's just, it's looking more and more bleak for them every week. Bournemouth, I didn't watch the game, and it sounded like they didn't really have to get out of second gear. And they've got nothing to play for. They turned up. They didn't have to get out of second gear. And it was a good 3 points for them. From Beto's goal at the end, it looked a bit of a scrappy one. I'm pretty sure the keeper dropped the ball and shit like that. And then the Shane goal at the end was just pathetic defending, really. The lack of communication, don't know what Pickford's doing, just very static, stuck to his line, and no communication whatsoever between the defence and then Coleman just chest net, an odd one. And that sums up the season, really. The only hope that they've got is that the rest of the teams around them, the standard league this year has been so poor, because if this was last season, I think they'd be down. And with any point deductions last season, they'd be down. So they are quite lucky that the point deductions have happened this season. Although I think the last 4 out of 5 home games, I think they've got to round, and they've got to play Sheffield United, Burnley, Forest all at home, and Brentford, as well as Liverpool. But them 4 home games are going to be massive for them. They've
simply got to pick up points. They can't afford to go down as a football club with the stadium in preparation. They simply can't afford to go down. Look, I didn't realise that stat about they haven't won since God knows how long. It's dire for Everton. If we're totally honest, it's really, really dire, and they need, with those games they've got coming out, they need to start picking up some points. Miss Hammerett, hope you're well. Really good to see you over the weekend. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Right, next up, where are we going? We are going to the second most forgettable game of the weekend. Coincidentally, the first forgettable game of the weekend was the last one, the one that had the big build-up. But first, we'll go to Nottingham Forest for a 1-1 draw against Crystal Palace. Sean, I'm going to give you approximately 15 seconds to talk about this game, because it needs no more.
No, even though it's tight down the bottom, I think they're about 1 point above, aren't they? Forest are level on points. I still got a gut feeling they'd have both took the draw at the start. It's one of those games where probably both of them are scared to lose it. I don't know anything about the game at all. But yeah, like I said, even though it's tight, you think when you look at the table, they're just going to rely on 3 teams being worse, I think. Do you know what I mean? If they can get the odd point here, maybe nick a win. I don't know if they've got to play the bottom 3 still, but if one of them got Sheffield United, they might think, take a point versus Palace, we'll beat Sheffield United and stay up, because they might just take that. And I think that just sums up these 2 football clubs at the moment. They're both not great, barely even a transition with a new manager, not many great players. So yeah, I reckon it's a bore draw, and I think they probably both would have took it at the start.
Absolutely. Forest have still got Everton, Sheffield United and Burnley left to play. We've got City, Chelsea and Spurs in there as well. Not that Chelsea is a remotely difficult game. I don't know why I added them to the list there, but it's just, instinct. But look, just nothing with it, to be totally honest. Just a forgettable game, if we're being totally honest. We're going to Villa Park next. Aston Villa 2, Wolves 0. Josh, you said to me before we came on air, not a fantastic first half, but got things done in the second half. What did you make of Gary O'Neill's Wolves, is what I want to ask you.
I thought, as I said, before we come on, the first half, it's pretty poor, to be honest. We were quite lax on the ball, and we weren't too great. But sorry.
Don't worry, Josh. We're live. Don't worry. It's all okay. It's all okay. Ready? Get out of the way. Get out of my room. Get out of my room.
Yeah.
Get out of my room. I'm live. Get out of my room. Go on, Josh. Sorry, mate.
They obviously haven't been controlling the younger siblings downstairs. Sorry about that. What was I about now? Yeah.
He's completely lost his train of thought now. Go on, reset, go.
Yeah. Right. So the game. She's not in here. Right. So. Anyway.
Chaos.
Absolute carnage. Right. First off, it wasn't a great game, to be honest. They had more of the ball. We didn't exactly control it by any stretch. We had a disallowed goal, looked comfortably offside. And then I think the second half of the first half, not too long before half time, the RB, a very good strike from the free kick to put us in front. But I'd say they probably were the best side first half. They had a very good chance. Martinez had to make the save for 1-on-1. I got away with it, and I wasn't too confident half time. But then didn't really start second half either. First 50 minutes of the second half, we were under the cosh. They were the better side, and they looked dangerous. And it wasn't filling loads of confidence, as well as they've got loads of injuries up front as well. So it wasn't convincing. But we changed the subs, changed the game. Digne and Zaniolo coming on. Definitely changed the game. Got the second goal, and it was comfortable then. We controlled it, and they sort of give up. But yeah, they did impress me first half. Wolves, they kept the ball quite well considering the injuries they've got. I think Gary O'Neill's done a very good job. I heard him say in his interview after with some of the star players not out up front. Then it could have been a different game, which, to be honest, I sort of agree with. Because I think they had a young lad up front who was making his full debut, and they still caused us problems. So most of it wasn't too convincing, but we got the job done in the end, and it was a very good goal from Ezri Konsa for the second one. And he also did quite well for England, which is good for him. But yeah, it was a must-win with Spurs and a couple of points behind us for the game in hand. United have got easier fixtures down off, so you can't rule them out yet. So yeah, City away tomorrow, that's a free hit. But we'll see how we finish the season.
A crucial 3 points for Villa. Let's move on. Brentford 1, Manchester United 1. Again, not a fantastic game of football. I watched a little bit of it. Saw Man United score and went, there we go. That was always going to happen. And then to my delight, Brentford come back and level things up. Sean, over to you.
Strange game, this. Didn't Brentford have like 31 chances on goal or something?
Did they?
Yeah, and I think it's them and the Man City versus United, the top 2 games in the Premier League season where teams conceded shots. So I don't know how United are doing it and getting away with it and not getting thumped by a few teams. You know what, Brentford, that they're probably just going to get away with it this year, most likely. But how many false storms are United going to have? Do you know what I mean? Like all the fans get all excited about that FA Cup win the other week, and then they stutter again straight after. It's just they just can't seem to get going. Whether there's many teams in the league that can only get up for it in certain games, whether they're one of them or not, I just don't know. I thought United looked very, very poor. It was mostly all Brentford. Didn't see that coming really. I didn't think United would be brilliant. I thought a better performance was going to come out of them. That's all I've got to say on it, really. It's a strange game, but for United to concede that many chances against Brentford, who I think we mentioned the last few weeks, they didn't look very creative, almost workmanlike quite a lot. For them to come out at home and maybe under the lights on a Saturday tea time, maybe it might lift them a bit, but I didn't expect that type of game. And the fact that Brentford missed so many, do you know what I mean? That probably summed up their quality a little bit. But I'm glad for Brentford that they didn't lose it, because that would have been a bit of a body blow, to be honest. And a body blow like that can dip your form even more. Your confidence is gone. So I am glad they come back and equalise, because United didn't deserve to win it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. For sure. Right, the last 2 games, I'm going to do these 2 games, and then I'm going to ask you the $1 million question with 8 games to go of who is going to win the league. So get your mind to Liverpool 2, Brighton 1. Look, Brighton always a banana skin for Liverpool, it seems, and that was the case 2 minutes in, where Welbeck got the goal. But again, it seemed like a sense of inevitability that Liverpool would get back into the game. And in the end, I think on the hour mark, got the lead and kept hold of the lead in a 2-1 win at 2 o'clock, which then put the pressure on the 4:30 game, which I'm going to be totally honest, was utterly dreadful. Manchester City 0, Arsenal 0. Listen, this was set up for a blockbuster, really good. Sky built it up as expected, and it was just crap. Arsenal parked the bus, and Man City didn't really have too much coming back, and City are just lacking something this season. They're lacking something. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, but there's just something. It's just not clicking in that City side. That's why they're sat, was it 3 or 4 points off the top of the table with 8 games to go. Now, if you'd have said that at the start of the season, I think a few would have been shocked. And look, the way you've got to look at it is it's 2 points. It's 2 points dropped for Man City. This was their opportunity to push on, and they didn't. Arsenal will be relatively happy with that point, I feel. But look, it is what it is. Right, Josh, who's going to win the title? No sitting on no fence. Who are you going for with 8 games to go?
I think Liverpool have got the easiest running, so I'm going to go with them. As you said, I don't think City are the same team this season. It's usually about January or February where they get into the stride and they win about 15 on the bounce, and no one can stop them. But they haven't really looked like that this season, and they're sort of running out of games now. I don't think they've been anywhere near as good as they were last season. Not quite sure what it is, but I think the fact that they always seem to play in a centre back and full back this season, they don't really have a natural left back. Is a bit of a problem since they let João Cancelo go. They're always playing either Vardy or Akanji or Ake there, which I don't know if that's the main problem, but the Gundogan going as well might also have had a bit of an effect. But yeah, for some reason I don't think City are going to win this year. I think Liverpool, they look very, very good. No one seems to be able to stop them at the moment. And I don't think any team's ever won it more than 4 years on the bounce. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go with Liverpool.
Sean, you were nodding your head.
I agree with a lot of what you said. I think with Man City, I think it's a common thing people always say. Signings usually take a season to click with Pep, don't they? That's quite a common thing people say. But they brought the young lad from Wolves, didn't they, City? I've forgotten his name. And they got Doku in. And I don't think either of those have done nowhere near enough. I can't remember the name for the lad from Wolves, but he come in, he didn't really play. As for Arsenal, I looked at their. I think they little bit bottled it yesterday, if I'm being totally honest. They did sort of park the bus, relying on other results going through the season. I looked at their fixtures late yesterday, and I think they've got away to Brighton Saturday tea time. I think they go away to Wolves. I think they got home to Chelsea. They come away to us. So I think they got a few. I think they might have Man U left in there maybe as well. Did they go to Old Trafford? I can't remember. So they got some tricky away games, and I looked at Liverpool's, and I think if Liverpool win at Old Trafford, I think that's in the next week or two. If they win at Old Trafford in the league, they might take some stopping. And I'll be honest, Liverpool haven't impressed me often this season, but they seem to get the job done. I sat and watched those games back to back yesterday. Liverpool didn't impress me a great deal. Thought Brighton game went toe to toe with them a little bit. So I would say Liverpool right now. I think if they win at Old Trafford, I think they'd be fools not to go on and win it from there, and that should lift them. I think Tottenham will have, I know Villa have got to play them as well, but Tottenham have got to play all 3 of them, and you can guarantee Tottenham won't be doing what Arsenal did yesterday. They'll go toe to toe with all 3 of them, and going toe to toe with teams suits Tottenham. Yeah. Tomorrow night, I'd rather you come out and go toe to toe against Tottenham, which you won't. But Tottenham will go to Man City and go toe to toe. They'll go to Anfield and go toe to toe. And when you go toe to toe, sometimes it swings in your favour. But at the moment, I will say, if Liverpool win at Old Trafford, they should win it.
There we go. So coming up next, we have a 10-minute break, and then Sean is going to rejoin me for the Spurs preview, of course, ahead of tomorrow night's game. But before we do go, a couple of comments. Liverpool, listen, it seems written in the stars they'll win at least one major trophy. I think if they beat Man United, I agree with Sean. If they beat Man United, I think they'll win it. If I'm totally honest, and it pains me to say it because I don't think I'll be able to deal with the Klopp rubbish if they win the league, to be totally honest. Big up to you all. Nervous for tomorrow night. Sean's not nervous. Sean thinks we're going to win. Liverpool have to play Everton at Goodison Park. It may be that we have to win to stay up, and Liverpool have to win the Premier League. What a showdown that will be. Ipswich are they beating Southampton 3-2? Wow. Drama at the top of the Championship, drama at the top of the
good
Premier
game.
League.
It's been a good game, that was what I've seen of it.
Yeah, it certainly
was. A good game.
Absolutely good to have the Premier League show back. Josh, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
No problem. See you later.
Speak to you soon. And Sean, I'll speak to you in about 10 minutes' time. Bring your West Ham scarf, all right?
Oh, I got one of them, mate. I've improvised.
We'll see you in 10 minutes. Join us for the Spurs preview at 7:45. But if you're not going to join us then, thanks for watching. And we'll see you soon right here on West Ham. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you.